Hello, my name is Angie and I like to inspire creativity in others. So today we are going to be taking a normal pair of jeans and turning them into a wonderful pair of flared jeans. So I'm actually wearing the jeans right now. Let me show you the jeans. These are the jeans that we're going to be working with. They are just kind of a plain leg. They're a little bit long, so I will be shortening them in the process as well. So let's go ahead and get started with giving these jeans some flair. Alright, so let's review all of the things that we are going to be working with today. First, we have the fabric that we're going to be using on the flare part of our jeans. A seam ripper, a measuring tape, and a black marker. So the first thing I have to do is actually take my pants off because I got to change into some different ones so we can work on the ones that I am wearing. We're going to go ahead and turn our jeans inside out so we can mark exactly or about exactly kind of where the knee is so we can seam rip up to the knee. Let's move on to the next step, which is going to be ripping the seams open after we figure out about where the knee is. So I am just going to stand on this chair and hold these pants up and see about where the knee is, and I'm just gonna mark it with my permanent marker. I'm only doing this so you guys can see, by the way. Normally I wouldn't stand on a chair because that would be weird. So it goes right there. Seems like my knee is about right there. Now we have to transfer that to the other side. So I went ahead and I made a mark on the jeans, and now I'm just going to lay them out and I'm going to transfer that mark to the other side so I can seam rip up the other side the hopefully almost exactly same amount. Alright, so I just went ahead and marked both areas on my pants. We are marking the outside of the pant, so you can put your flare on the inside if you want, but I'm putting my flare on the outside. So now we are going to seam rip, which is one of my favorite things in the whole entire world to do. So let's get started with that. Sometimes you can just give it a pull and it'll just rip for you. So I'm gonna get these seams ripped and then I will be right back with you because I'm sure that you're okay with not watching me rip the seams of my jeans. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I am back and I have split these seams. So here is this side seam. And just to prove to you I did both, here is the other side seam. Our next step is to cut a pizza slice. So I brought the pizza cutter. What we're going to do is cut a slice of pizza to go inside of our pocket that we just made. So let's go ahead and grab our fabric and we're going to get to measuring and to cutting. As you might recall, this is our fabric. First thing we need to do is open our pants up and we need to figure out how big do we want our pizza slice to be. So how much wider do we want our pants to be at the bottom? I think that's pretty cool. I like that flare. I'm looking for my measuring tape and I cannot find it anywhere. Okay, well that's not a problem at all. That's what we have lace for. Okay, so we're just going to use some lace as our measuring tape. Okay, our slice of pizza is going to be this wide. So I'm just going to take and go from where the seam starts to where the seam ends. And I'm just going to cut this lace so I know exactly how big I want it to be. I know, very, very exact. Alright, so now we have our piece of lace that we're going to use to measure the other side. Now what we're going to do is use this piece of lace to actually cut our pizza slice. We need to measure... Oh, I just found it. Here's my measuring tape. It was sitting right there. Okay, good. Because we need to measure how big or how long our pizza slice is going to be. So for my cutting, or for my seam ripping from the top of the triangle to the base, it is about 16 inches. I'm going to grab our fabric and lay it out. I'm going to lay it with the pretty part on the bottom, so when I draw on it, I don't draw on the pretty area. Let's find a good spot. Okay, so first, let's just make this piece straight. So we've got our lace. We're gonna take and mark how wide we need it to be. Now, let's measure our piece of lace here, and we'll see what the middle is. So the piece of lace is about 8, so the middle is 4. So we'll take and we'll measure 16 up, and then we'll mark 4. We want to add a little extra to the top of our triangle. We draw our line. So we go from the very bottom here to the very top. And then now we take and from the bottom we go to the top. Now all we need to do is cut this one out and trace it. We don't have to do all that measuring and everything. So let me show you the triangle. Okay, so we have our first piece right here. And now we're going to take and trace it onto Alright, now that we have both triangles cut out, it is time to start sewing. Before we start sewing though, of course we do have to start pinning. So we're going to start pinning these triangles to our pants. So I have gone ahead and turned the pants right side out. Before that I pinned the piece on, and as you can see it looks pretty darn cool if you ask me. So now all we have to do is pin the other piece together and sew them. Alright, so I've got my other triangle right here, and I've got some pins right here. I'm just going to go ahead and take the other side and pin it together. So let me turn these pants inside out. Now there is a little hem right here from our seam ripping, and we're just going to pin it to this hem. Okay, make sure that the pretty side of the fabric is on the inside. Alright, now that we've got it all pinned, let's get to sewing. Alright, that side is done. Let's just make sure our triangle got sewn all the way up. Okay, and it did. Let's do the other side. Gonna do it the same way as we did. And I know I did put my pins on the wrong side. Don't do that. Now for the next side. Alright, both sides are sewn together. The next thing we need to do for me is I need to actually hem these pants. If you don't need to hem the pants, then all you need to do is take your piece and then just roll it up, because you should have added some extra for the hem. Just roll it up and hem it in with the rest of the hem of your pants. Alright, hello. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off and finish pinning these pants, and then we will get them hemmed. I am so excited. The pants are done. I hemmed them. I put them on. I put on a matching shirt, and I'm here to show them to you. See how they look. Don't they look awesome? That's the other side. It looks the same, which is really good. And the hemming came out just perfect. So I would like to thank you so much for watching today's project. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you got value out of the video, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another upload. Also, a thumbs up would help the channel immensely, so that would be great. And if you know someone who would like this video too, share it. Sharing is caring. So that's it for now, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, fantastic day. Peace out. Hello, welcome to or welcome back. My name is Angela, and I like to inspire creativity in others. So today we are going to be working on a jean skirt dress that has jeans at the top and a skirt at the bottom. This project comes from an inspiration picture from one of my videos. I'll show you the picture and I'll show you the video. You've probably seen it. It's one of my most popular videos. Here is the shower curtain. We will be using these jeans right here. We are also going to need a tape measure, some denim sewing needles, a rotary cutter if you have one. If not, you can use scissors. And of course, some scissors. You will also need a cutting mat. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this project. So I have gone ahead and taken and laid the pants out. I'm going to use this ruler right here to mark my spot. I'm going to use this marker right here to mark along the line that I would like my pants to have on it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything is all straightened out. I'm going to place my line right below the zipper. I want some nice jean fabric that can be sewed on that's not like double sewed. I'm going to take my measuring tape and I'm just going to go ahead and measure from here to here and here to here to make sure everything's even before I draw my line. I think we are all set. Now all we need to do is draw that line. So let's go ahead and get started with that rotary cutter. Okay, now I'm just going to go back with the scissors and cut through any parts that the rotary cutter missed. Okay, here we go. We have our piece now. Okay, so I'm going to measure from my waist all the way down to the floor. I do need to account for the actual pants piece, so we're going to go ahead and cut off to the end of the pants piece, measure a billion times, cut one. Like before, I'm going to go ahead and mark this. Okay, now we have the right size piece and we're going to figure out how big we need to make it around our waist. Okay, so let's see how big this shower curtain is. We'll say that works. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this whole length of the shower curtain the whole length that I'm going to sew. Now we're going to take and sew along the cut side, and what you need to do is adjust your sewing machine to the longest stitch, and we're going to sew across that, and then we're going to pull one of the threads to gather it. I'm going to sew my stitch out a little bit. No need to go backward and forward because we're going to be pulling these stitches. On the last end, you will want to go back and forth to secure it, so when you're pulling your thread, it won't come all the way out the back. So we are going to secure the back a little bit. Next thing we are going to do is grab one of the strings, not both, and we're going to go ahead and pull that string. And we're just going to keep pulling it and pushing the gathers over until we get all of our gathers in there. Now you want to be gentle because this is just thread, but it will hold as long as you're gentle. It is kind of a time-consuming process, so it will take you a little bit of time to get through this. Now what we need to do, take our pants. So I'm making sure that it goes around the bottom half of the skirt. Our next step is to tie the string off that we were pulling on. Now if you want, you can adjust any of the ruffles that you would like. And the next thing we're going to do is sew this to the skirt. We're going to turn the pants inside out. And we'll make sure that it is wrong side to wrong side so we don't sew it the wrong way. We need to pin the skirt to our jeans. I'm going to go ahead and cut along the pocket here so it doesn't come out. I don't want to remove the pocket, I'm just cutting along it, the excess fabric, so I can take that off. So as you can see, the front is taller than the back, and that is to allow room for the bootay. So I didn't cut this wrong, it's just that the front is taller than the back. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with pinning our skirt to our pants. We are going to find the middle of our skirt and then the middle of our pants and start our pinning right there. I'm going to measure the length of our skirt here. Okay, so that length is about 40, so we want to put a pin in the middle here to mark it at 20. We are going to start in the front of the skirt. Okay, so in the front we want to have the front be right in the middle. You want to pin above the area where we gathered it. I'm just going to go ahead and pin the rest of this off camera and I'll see you momentarily. And I have them pinned all the way around. What we want to do next is go ahead and pin the back all the way down. So we want to do that and then sew up that line, and then we'll go ahead and sew around our jeans. So one thing I did want to mention is as I was pinning, I went from the half all the way around to the other half, and then I went back and went to this second half and went all the way around to the back half. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to go ahead and pin the rest and I'll see you when it's pinned. I did go ahead and start my pinning. I restarted my pinning at the bottom, so I went from the bottom all the way to the top here. So first we're going to go ahead and sew the seam that goes up the top, and then we're going to sew around the pants. Okay, and now we have our seam sewn together for the back. And the very last part to do is sew the jeans to the fabric. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the extra from the seam. That'll make it easier for the sewing machine to go through the fabric, not the string, the fabric. And then we should be pretty good to go on being done and trying it on. If you have an overlocker or a serger, this would be a good time to go ahead and serge this. Alright, we are done sewing it, so I will be back with the final reveal. Alright, are you ready to see the final skirt? Here we go! I went ahead and added this little flower like in the picture. I did attach the flower to a safety pin, so all I have to do is undo the safety pin and the flower will come right off when I want to wash my new skirt. And here it is. This is the skirt. Leave me a comment on what you think about it. Do you think that it is nice, or do you think it is not nice? And what do you think about the fact I used a shower curtain for the bottom? Is that not creative, or is that not creative? So I would like to thank you so much for watching today's video. I put a lot of work into it, so I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other creative posts. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That would really help my channel, and it would give me a warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. And last of all, if you would like to give me a super thanks, that would be awesome, but just a thumbs up is free, so that is fine too. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next upload. Peace out. Today we are going to upcycle this sweatshirt. We are going to need some fabric. Let me show you the fabric that we will be using today. We've got this fabric right here, this one right here, and this one right here. Now, what we're going to be... What we're going to be doing is putting little diamonds at the bottom of... You can't see the bottom. Here. What we're going to do is be putting little diamonds on the bottom of the sweatshirt. So it's just going to go all the way down and kind of turn it into like a little mini dress sort of thing. Whoa. This is an inspiration from one of the videos that you guys have watched. You did pick it for your best, so I'm going to go ahead and recreate it for you. What we're doing is taking these little diamonds that have their top cut off, this is the shape, and we're going to sew them gathered to the sweatshirt, and we're going to place them all gathered around it. First, what we need to do is have some coffee. This is really good. stuff. Next, we need to get our measurements. So let me grab my handy dandy measuring tape right here. What I did is I cut out a diamond first, and then I cut the top off of it. So basically, I took and I measured a little bit up higher to account for the part of the diamond that I'm going to cut off. And then I measured all the way down about where my knees would be. So it ended up being about 16 inches long. Here is my diamond cutout. I measured out a diamond that was 18 inches. For the width of the diamond, I made it 10 inches. That was just my own guess. I just thought 10 inches would be perfect. The width of the area that is cut off for the diamond is 3 inches. So that is how you determine how to make your diamond. So using my pattern here, I traced out all of the pieces that I needed. Now the next question is, how many pieces do you need? After cutting out the diamonds, I pinned it gathered right where the seam is on the sweatshirt. And since I'm using 3 colors, what I did was actually pin all 3 colors up here to see how wide that was. That ended up being about 3 inches wide once they were gathered. So one gathered piece would equal the width of a whole piece. So 3 inches was the width, and then I took and measured around the waist. This waist is about 36 inches. So that is really handy because 3 goes into 36. So then what you want to do, divide 36 by 3, and that would be 12. So that tells you that you need 12 pieces of this fabric for each color. So when you're done, you're going to have kind of a kite shape. And I'm curious if this thing will fly. Did it fly? Alright, so after you get all of your pieces cut out, the next thing you need to do is we're going to iron 2 sides under because we're going to be hemming the sides. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead now and turn the edges of the bottom full triangle down. And the edges that we're going to be sewing under are actually the point part. So this part right here, we're going to need to hem because that part is actually going to be sticking out. So we want it hemmed nicely. Now next you want to take and turn this middle part, this little pointy part up so you can finish hemming the rest of it. Alright, and now we need to take it over to the sewing machine and sew it. Once you get to the point, make sure your needle is actually in the fabric. Lift up on your foot and continue to sew with the foot down once you've got it turned. Now we have our one piece sewn, 1 down, 11 more to go. So let's go ahead and sew them right now. The next thing we're going to do is sew these together. Pin pretty side to pretty side. We'll place the diamonds on top of each other. And we're going to be pinning each side together. So we want to make sure that it is even with the bottom part. Alright, so next what we're going to do is use either a overlocker or sergers. So I'm going to use the serger stitch on my machine. It looks just like a serger but it doesn't cut. And I'm going to use that to do my edges just so they don't fray out. The next thing we do is sew more together. So we open this up, take the pins out, we open this up, we grab another piece. Make sure that you are alternating your pieces. If you're using 3, then make sure you're alternating 3. Make sure they go pretty side to pretty side, and then pin and sew the next side. So you always want to start with the side that we just hemmed as the side that you start sewing on, because we want to make sure that those sides actually match up. We have these 3 done, and all we need to do is sew the rest together. We have it done. All of our pieces are sewn together. We're going to make a long stitch that goes all the way around our pieces of fabric. And we're going to do it with the longest stitch because what we're going to do is actually pull it to gather it together to make our little skirt sort of thing that goes with our sweatshirt. So I'm going to go ahead and do this inside out, and like I said, we are using the longest stitch possible, and then we are not going to backstitch on the end. So this end will backstitch, but the last end we will not be backstitching. Alright, so now that we have everything gathered to where it's just about right, make sure that our ends of each side are sewn under, and then we're going to start pinning this to our jacket. So we have our sweatshirt right here, and we're just going to turn it inside out. Now we want this to kind of look like it's coming out of our jacket from underneath, so we're not going to sew it together pretty side to pretty side. We're going to put the pretty side on the inside and sew it that way. There's my mouth talking. So I'm going to start right at the zipper and pin it around. I'm pinning it about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of the jacket. I'm going to go ahead and finish pinning this, and then we will get to sewing, and we are almost done. So I have it all pinned together here, as you can see. So our very next step is to get to sewing. So let's go ahead and get to sewing this on, and then we will do the final reveal. And the way I'm going to sew this is I'm going to have it right side out, and I'm going to sew it on top. And there are 2 lines on this jacket, 2 little seam lines, and I'm going to sew on the bottom line. My machine does not like that little zipper piece, so I'm just getting it past that. Just for the record, I just fell over, so hang on a second. Let's get this baby turned on. Oh. It's not plugged in. So, I have like the worst cramp in my foot right now, but we're going to continue anyway because I love you guys so much. Can you see me? I'm Dr. Seuss. I'm not a moose. Hello, welcome to or welcome back. My name is Angela, and I like to inspire creativity in others. So today we are going to be working on a jean skirt dress that has jeans at the top and a skirt at the bottom. This project comes from an inspiration picture from one of my videos. I'll show you the picture and I'll show you the video. You've probably seen it, it's one of my most popular videos. Here is the shower curtain. We will be using these jeans right here. We are also going to need a tape measure, some denim sewing needles, a rotary cutter if you have one. If not, you can use scissors. And of course, some scissors. You will also need a cutting mat. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this project. So I have gone ahead and taken and laid the pants out. I'm going to use this ruler right here to mark my spot. I'm going to use this marker right here to mark along the line that I would like my pants to have on it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything is all straightened out. I'm going to place my line right below the zipper. I want some nice jean fabric that can be sewed on that's not like double sewed. I'm going to take my measuring tape and I'm just going to go ahead and measure from here to here and here to here to make sure everything's even before I draw my line. I think we are all set. Now all we need to do is draw that line. So let's go ahead and get started with that rotary cutter. Okay, now I'm just going to go back with the scissors and cut through any parts that the rotary cutter missed. Okay, here we go. We have our piece now. Okay, so I'm going to measure from my waist all the way down to the floor. I do need to account for the actual pants piece, so we're going to go ahead and cut off to the end of the pants piece, measure a billion times, cut one. Like before, I'm going to go ahead and mark this. Okay, now we have the right size piece and we're going to figure out how big we need to make it around our waist. Okay, so let's see how big this shower curtain is. We'll say that works. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make this whole length of the shower curtain the whole length that I'm going to sew. Now we're gonna take and sew along the cut side, and what you need to do is adjust your sewing machine to the longest stitch, and we're going to sew across that, and then we're going to pull one of the threads to gather it. I'm going to sew my stitch out a little bit. No need to go backward and forward because we're going to be pulling these stitches. On the last end, you will want to go back and forth to secure it, so when you're pulling your thread, it won't come all the way out the back. So we are going to secure the back a little bit. Next thing we are going to do is grab one of the strings, not both, and we're going to go ahead and pull that string. And we're just going to keep pulling it and pushing the gathers over until we get all of our gathers in there. Now you want to be gentle because this is just thread, but it will hold as long as you're gentle. It is kind of a time-consuming process, so it will take you a little bit of time to get through this. Now what we need to do, take our pants. So I'm making sure that it goes around the bottom half of the skirt. Our next step is to tie the string off that we were pulling on. Now if you want, you can adjust any of the ruffles that you would like. And the next thing we're gonna do is sew this to the skirt. We're gonna turn the pants inside out. And we'll make sure that it is wrong side to wrong side so we don't sew it the wrong way. We need to pin the skirt to our jeans. I'm going to go ahead and cut along the pocket here so it doesn't come out. I don't want to remove the pocket, I'm just cutting along it, the excess fabric, so I can take that off. So as you can see, the front is taller than the back, and that is to allow room for the boutée. So I didn't cut this wrong, it's just that the front is taller than the back. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started with pinning our skirt to our pants. We are going to find the middle of our skirt and then the middle of our pants and start our pinning right there. I'm going to measure the length of our skirt here. Okay, so that length is about 40, so we want to put a pin in the middle here to mark it at 20. We are going to start in the front of the skirt. Okay, so in the front we want to have the front be right in the middle. You want to pin above the area where we gathered it. I'm just going to go ahead and pin the rest of this off camera and I'll see you momentarily. And I have them pinned all the way around. What we want to do next is go ahead and pin the back all the way down. So we want to do that and then sew up that line, and then we'll go ahead and sew around our jeans. So one thing I did want to mention is as I was pinning, I went from the half all the way around to the other half, and then I went back and went to this second half and went all the way around to the back half. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to go ahead and pin the rest and I'll see you when it's pinned. I did go ahead and start my pinning. I restarted my pinning at the bottom, so I went from the bottom all the way to the top here. So first we're going to go ahead and sew the seam that goes up the top, and then we're going to sew around the pants. Okay, and now we have our seam sewn together for the back. And the very last part to do is sew the jeans to the fabric. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the extra from the seam. That'll make it easier for the sewing machine to go through the fabric, not the string, the fabric. And then we should be pretty good to go on being done and trying it on. If you have an overlocker or a serger, this would be a good time to go ahead and serge this. Alright, we are done sewing it, so I will be back with the final reveal. Alright, are you ready to see the final skirt? Here we go! I went ahead and added this little flower like in the picture. I did attach the flower to a safety pin, so all I have to do is undo the safety pin and the flower will come right off when I want to wash my new skirt. And here it is. This is the skirt. Leave me a comment on what you think about it. Do you think that it is nice, or do you think it is not nice? And what do you think about the fact I used a shower curtain for the bottom? Is that not creative, or is that not creative? So I would like to thank you so much for watching today's video. I put a lot of work into it, so I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other creative posts. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That would really help my channel, and it would give me a warm, fuzzy feeling in my heart. And last of all, if you would like to give me a super thanks, that would be awesome, but just a thumbs up is free, so that is fine too. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next upload. Peace out. Hello, my beautiful, wonderful people. My name is Angie, and I like to inspire creativity in others. So today we are going to be taking a little girl's jean skirt and turning it into a very fashionable purse. So let's get started right now. The supplies that you will need are, of course, a little girl's jean skirt. Here is our inspiration picture, and also I'll show you the video that this picture came from. It was voted the most, so I'm going ahead and making that project for you guys. For supplies, we are going to need a little girl's jean skirt. And you could actually use little girl's pants and then cut them off. It is a size extra small 4-5. There was some gray fabric on the purse, so we have some gray fabric right here. We may be doing a little bit of hand sewing, so I do have some hand sewing needles. We will definitely be doing some machine sewing, not very much, so you don't have to be very skilled. And then last but not least, I have my E6000 glue and then also fabric glue. And actually, I have one more thing. We have things to put on the purse. So I have all kinds of little embellishments to go on the purse. I have all kinds of fake flowers and different things so we can make our purse look as close to the real thing as possible. So let's get started making that purse. I am so excited for this project because I think this purse is so cute. And the first thing we need to do is actually sew up the bottom. I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The next thing that you can see on the inspiration picture, there is some gray fabric just kind of willy-nilly on the actual purse. So we're just going to cut out some gray fabric to just kind of go however on the purse, and we will be using fabric glue to glue that on. So now we are going to be drawing our shape onto our fabric. I have the fabric pretty side down, so I'm drawing on the back of it. I'm going to put my jeans underneath it so I can see exactly how big I need it to be. I don't want it covering any of the zipper. And let's just kind of lay it on here until we can see how it will just kind of flow on. Okay, so I think we're going to put it on this way. We're going to take our scissors, and after we glue it on, we're going to go ahead and take and cut out where this little pocket shape is, because we want to go ahead and have the pockets for our purse. I got this at Walmart. It's called Tulip Fabric Adhesive. I'm not going to put glue up here, right here, because I'm going to want to cut that off. So I'll put glue on that after I get it cut off. And I know I should have ironed this, but I don't iron. I'm too lazy to iron. Whoa, that's a lot. Alright, so we definitely will have enough fabric glue. Try to get the glue all the way to the edges because you want to make sure that everything is glued. I'm gonna lay this down here. I think that is just perfect. And then I'm gonna cut around the pockets. And there we go. So now let's just put some glue on that. And in our inspiration picture, the edges aren't hemmed or anything, they're just kind of frayed out, so we're gonna leave it that way. Okay, and now our next step is going to be to glue on some embellishments. I have put together some things that we're going to be using to decorate our purse. First, we have some rope for the handles. I found a variety of different flowers. And then I found all these. So they're not exactly the flowers on the purse, but nothing is going to be exact because I don't have the exact material. So I'm going to put my own spin on things. On the purse I had pom-poms. So I have this little pom-pom thing, but I also have these beads. We might just put the beads on. I know it's not like the picture, but you can do it like the picture if you want when you do it yourself. I also had another idea that was outside of the inspiration picture, but it is just an inspiration picture. So I did get this trim right here, and I'd actually like to place that trim around the pockets. So I think what I'd like to do first is put that trim at the bottom. I'm going to cut the edge off and put some fabric glue so it stays sealed. Alright, now we are going to go ahead and just use some more fabric glue and glue this on. Let's go ahead and glue this little piece of trim that I wanted to glue to the pocket. Now it is time to put the rest of our embellishments on. Now keep in mind that this picture that we have is just an inspiration picture. We're not going to have the exact same things as in the picture. The first thing I want to do is add the pom-poms onto the purse. So we're going to add the pom-poms just above our little beaded row right here. I'm going to be using hot glue. I suggest that you use E6000. I'm going to use fabric glue on the ends of each side to make sure it doesn't fray. Let's look at our inspiration picture and we will start putting some flowers on this. Now obviously I do not have the exact flowers from this, so I'm going to do my best with the fake flowers that I did get, and I think that you're going to find this purse will turn out just as lovely as the original. So I see on the top there's 3 flowers and on the bottom there's 2. The flowers that I have are a little bit smaller, so we're going to do 4 on the top and 3 on the bottom, just to cover that space. So we'll do red. And what I'd like to do is just sort of lay some things out, and then we'll go ahead and get to gluing. So let me just lay some things out. These bottom flowers we just want to kind of put in between where the top flowers are, so you'll see what I mean. Okay, let's go ahead and glue these flowers on. In our inspiration picture, it looks like there may be bows or maybe even some leaves next to our flowers. Just burned myself with my hot glue gun. Ow. I did that all for you. I have these little green bows. I made these out of just some normal ribbon. I just tied it in a bow. are some other little doodads on this purse. Some little pieces of pom-poms and little buttons and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and add some other little embellishments to this purse. I'm going to start with these pink buttons. I also noticed in our inspiration picture that it looked like there were some kinds of studs glued onto the purse. So let me show you the studs that we're going to use. And it's a little bit hard to see in the inspiration picture exactly what everything is. And I'm sure if you decide to do this project, which I encourage you to, I'm actually having a ton of fun making this. Your project will be not exactly like the inspiration picture either, but who wants exact? We want to be creative and have our own spin on things. And I was very inspired when I saw the picture. On our inspiration picture, there are some other little doodads. I can't really tell what they are, so we are just going to add some other little embellishments to this purse to finalize it. I think we'll add a pom-pom to go with our little pom-poms right here. Add another little pom-pom over here. Maybe we'll add a pom-pom up here. Put one right there. This one right here. Alright, let's look at our inspiration picture and see what else we should put on this. So I found a green button, and I thought that we should put a green button on it. Now, to top it off, I want to add these little gold buttons right here. I think they're pretty. At this point, we are just adding little embellishments that we have to our purse until we're satisfied with how it looks. Get creative with it. No need to have an exact copy of something someone else has already made. Now, the very last thing we're going to add was definitely not on the purse. You don't have to add them to yours. I got these on Amazon, and they are so cute. They are little mini keys. I'm just going to glue them to my purse because I want to, because I think it'll make it look cute. Okay, now that we have all of our embellishments glued onto our purse, I think it looks so good. I'm so proud of it. The next thing we need to do is add the rope handles to our purse. So we will start with the front of the purse, and we'll run them through the belt loops just like it shows in the picture. First, I'm going to take and glue the ends together. And by the way, if you have not commented on the video or liked or subscribed, if you're getting value out of the video, please be sure to do so. Liking the video would help push it out to others that might like the same type of content, and subscribing would mean the world to me. I have all kinds of creative content out there. I have list videos that give you different inspiration ideas, which this purse is from a list video of inspirations, like I said in the beginning. I have how-to videos out there. I'm getting more videos out there from the list videos. Once I get 100 votes on a list of inspiration of ideas, then I go ahead and recreate the project with my own artistic inspiration. Now, what I did, and I did it without you, but I took the fabric that we used in the very beginning and I made 2 rectangles out of it. And we're actually going to use these rectangles to cover the spot where we glued. Now we're going to hem one end of it right here. And then what we're going to do is actually glue the raw side of it to the rope itself, and just kind of centering it where our part that we glued together is. And then what we're going to do is wrap this other part around the rope. And we'll cover it, and then we're going to put hot glue where our hemmed edge is and finish it off and glue it so nobody can see the raw edge of the rope. Try to get this as tight as you can. See, that looks pretty cool. Now we're going to flip the bag around and we're going to put a handle on the other side. And I did pre-cut these pieces of rope. I just took and kind of put it through and just measured about how long I thought I wanted the handle to be. Now the other side of these pants does not have the 2 belt loops in the middle. We're going to glue this to the back, making sure that they match up at the center. And then I also got these little squares cut that after we glue the rope on, we're going to glue these squares on to kind of cover the raw edges of the rope. I want to make sure that these handles are the same length. Glue this one right there. Now we're going to glue our squares to cover the pieces. I'm going to be just kind of putting a lot of hot glue on the fabric and just kind of gluing it on there, just around the edges. I honestly think that the hot glue is going to hold pretty well. Definitely if you want to use E6000, use it, but I think this hot glue is actually going to work just fine for my needs of holding this bag together. It feels like it's really sturdy on there, and when hot glue sticks to fabric, it kind of bonds better. So I think that the hot glue is going to be great, and I will be able to use this purse for years to come. Now we need to glue this little handle thing onto this handle so they look the same. And just like last time, we're going to take and hem one side. Okay, and just like before, we're going to put a bead across the raw edge and glue that to the rope. And we want to try and get this as close to where the other one is as possible. Okay, now we're just going to wrap this tightly around here. And folks, we have ourselves a finished bag. There's the bottom. Here is the top. Doesn't that look cool? So this is what the purse looks like. Isn't it really neat? Let me get closer. I know you saw it before, but now you can kind of see it like the right way. And then here's it with the handles. And then here, let me model the purse for you. Now I also wanted to mention that I did another project recently. It was upcycling a pair of jeans, and I'm actually wearing them today. Let me show you what I did. I did this flare on the bottom of them. So if you want to see that video, I will have that video linked above so you can see it as well, and I'll have it in the description. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you would like to give a super thanks, that would be great, but it's not necessary, no pressure. Liking the video helps push it out to others. And make sure and hit that notification bell when you do subscribe so you get notified every time I post. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next upload. Peace out. What is up, my beautiful people? My name is Angie, and I like to inspire creativity in others. And today we are going to be making a patchwork skirt. So here's the inspiration picture right here. It does have 3 tiers. These are the fabrics that we're going to be using in our project today. You can use whatever fabric you want. Get creative. The picture is just an inspiration for what we want to do. I'll be using this beautiful purpley red fabric. I'll be using this green color of fabric. I will be using this black velvet color. So I'm not necessarily using the same fabric as in the inspiration picture. You will need a rotary cutter. They come in handy. Mine is Fiskar. You could do it with scissors, but it'd take a long time. But I do have scissors just in case we need them. This could be a hand sewing project, but I would suggest that you use a sewing machine because it is going to take so much longer if you hand sew. So you will need a sewing machine. And that is it for what we'll need for our project. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to need to measure from your waistband all the way to the bottom, and mine was 36 inches. So the patch size that I'm going to use is 8 by 12. You might need to adjust your patch size based on your height. My fabric is going to be 12 inches wide. I'm going to cut a little over 25 inches so I can have both pieces cut at the same time, so I don't have to cut it twice. So I'm just going to smooth this out really quick here, And then I'm going to take my ruler, because for some reason I can't find my tape measure again. And I'm going to measure out some extra wiggle room. And 25. And now I'm going to cut the fabric. I do have a what's called healing board. Sometimes when it's thicker like mine, you gotta kind of roll it back and forth a little bit to get it to go all the way through. And here is our piece that we're going to use. Okay, 12 inches is going to be right about here. I'm marking that with my hand. Okay, so I'm going to cut my 12 inch mark. Okay, so here is our first of our 25-inch squares. We'll be cutting these in 8-inch section, and let's get our other 25-inch square. So now go ahead and do that to the rest of your pieces. I'm going to go ahead and do it for you off camera. The next thing that we need to do is take all of our pieces that we cut and cut them into 8-inch strips. So let's go ahead and get started with that. What we're going to do is just lay our strips on top of each other, and then we're going to cut the 8 inches that way with our rotary cutter. Now we have our 8x12 piece, and then we just keep doing it until we're out of fabric. Okay, and now we're going to cut our next 8-inch strip. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off and finish up doing this with all of the pieces of fabric. If you do have any questions about how I cut the fabric, please leave them in the comments below. I answer every single comment. I have a ton of squares cut up. So now what we're going to do is take the rectangles, and then we're going to sew them together in a pattern. So if you chose 4 pieces of fabric, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So make sure you get a pattern in there, or you don't have to use a pattern. If you're using just a bunch of different piece of scraps, then no pattern needed. So do it however you would like. We're going to get started sewing our rectangles together right now. I found my tape measure, of course, after we were done cutting, so that's cool. And what we need to do next is actually measure our waist, so we can figure out how many patches we need to put together before we start another set, so we can sew them together in rows. Okay, so currently it looks like with my clothes on, my waist is 28. So what I'm going to do is take 28 inches and I am going to add another half. So half of 28 is 14. So 28 plus 14 equals 42. So that is how long I'm going to want my length of patches to go before I start sewing another row together. So now, so we want to make sure and sew them with the pretty sides together. We want the ugly sides on top. So make sure that you're doing that, because we want to make sure that our seams are on the inside of our skirt. And that's how our inspiration picture is. Now, since they're pretty small pieces, you don't need to do much pinning, but I would advise pinning them together. And we'll probably give this about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Two sewn together, 5 million to go. Okay, so I am going to put purple on, we're just going to call it purple. You would put your next one, pretty side to pretty side. I very much dislike it when fabric rolls. And to fix it, you can use an iron. But I don't like irons, so to fix it, I'm just going to not worry about it. So this one isn't matched up to the top because the fabric is rolled. So we'll take care of that later. Okay, and now we have 3 patches sewn together. I know that the tops and bottoms aren't even, but that is fine because we are going to cut them even later. So I'm going to go ahead and sew some more together, and I'll get back with you. Then we will start on sewing our rows together. So there was one more thing I wanted to tell you, and it is, once you get your whole strip done, you want to make sure that your next strip doesn't start with the same color. So make sure that you're doing that so your rows are staggered. I'm going to go ahead and keep sewing, and I'll see you in a minute. Now that we have all of our pieces sewn together, I have 3 tiers right now. It might depend on your height as to how many levels you have on your skirt. I have gone ahead and numbered my levels. Now we are going to sew our pieces together horizontally. All I have to do is pin these together and sew them. Remember, when we're sewing them together, we want to do pretty side to pretty side. Now that I've sewn 2 layers together, we're going to go ahead and sew our 3rd layer together. So same thing, we're going to sew it pretty side to pretty side, and then I'll come back with you and we're going to put a little waistband on it. And I'll show you how to thread the elastic through the waistband. Alright, so the very next thing to do is we're going to add a waistband at the top. What I did to calculate how much waistband I'd need, I got some elastic. I think it's 1/2 inch elastic. But calculate how big your elastic is, how much you're going to need to fold over. And after all those calculations, I came up with the width that I needed, which was like 7 inches. After taking off all the seam allowance and all that, and then, you know, not making maybe your patches absolutely perfect, so you had to make them perfect by cutting them down, just kind of cut the patches down a little bit, and that's why 7 works for me. So we're going to go ahead and sew on our waistband. And I'm just going to do that, and then I'll get right back with you. All you need to do is just sew it to the top of your garment. So whichever side you decide is the top is where you'll sew it, just like you did these strips. You'll just sew it on. So I'm going to sew it on, and I'll be back. Alright, so here is my full piece. And now we're going to take this top part and we're going to fold it over and sew it to hold our elastic. Alright, so my elastic, like I said, is a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to put that 1/2 inch out. Then I'm going to see how much it takes to fold over the elastic. To fold over the elastic, about 1.5 inches for me. All we're going to need to thread it through the canal, the elastic, is a safety pin that's pretty big, and then we got our elastic right here. So what we're going to do is take and we're going to safety pin it to the end of the elastic. Now all we're going to do is take and thread the safety pin through the hole, and it'll be very, very easy to do. Once you get your actual elastic in there, you just take and slide the safety pin and slide your fabric. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, better suggestions than a safety pin, which let me know in the comments. Yeah, as always with any project that I do, if you have suggestions, comments, concerns, questions, leave those in the comments for me, and I answer every single one of my comments. It might take me a minute because I do get a lot of comments, but I answer every single one. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this all the way through, and then I will be right back with you. I have now threaded the safety pin through, and it is coming to birth. There it is. Pull that baby all the way out. You need to be able to see that elastic. I don't want it sucking itself back in. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the safety pin off, and we are on the home stretch. We are almost done with this dress, so that is very exciting, because for you the video is probably, I don't know, 10-20 minutes, but for me, I have spent hours and hours and hours recording and hours and hours and hours editing. So this is just for you. What we're going to do is measure our waist one more time. I forgot, and then we're going to add a couple inches or maybe 1 inch and pull the elastic through and cut it off at that measurement and pin it and sew the whole thing down. Okay, so my waist is 29, so I'm going to make it 31. We're going to secure the end of the elastic with a pin so it doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to go like this and just push it out. We'll measure it out to 31 inches and then we'll pin it right before we cut the elastic. Pull it out, try to make it even. We will measure, I think without the little curve there, I think we have ourselves 31. We're going to go ahead and put a pin through here so it doesn't move when we cut it. If you are getting value out of this video, please be sure to subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other creative uploads. And a super thanks would be fantastic, would make my day. But it's definitely not necessary. A thumbs up would help the channel for free. So please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and go ahead and subscribe because I have a ton of creative content on this channel. And now let's get back to our project. Alright, so I have measured and I have pinned, and now let's make sure that we're doing this the right way, and that is ugly side to ugly side. So all we do is just go down the way and pin it. If you have anything that doesn't match up, go ahead and cut it off. Okay, last one. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and sew this all the way down. Now, if I am not showing you enough sewing, please be sure to let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to show you more of the sewing machine part. So our very last step is to hem the bottom. You can fold it over twice if you would like, or you can just fold it over once, and I'll just be folding it over once. Let's go ahead and get started with pinning around the bottom. Remember that your skirt is still inside out, and then once we get on, we'll do a little try on and see what it looks like. And start pinning. So I'm gonna let you guys not watch me pin because that's kind of boring, and I'll see you once it's pinned and it's tried on. Here is the new skirt. Yes, I love it. Isn't it so cute? Now I will say the one in our inspiration picture was much fuller, and all you need to do if you want it fuller is to add more patches. So if you want a very full skirt that you could flip in the air all the way over your head, just add a ton of patches. But I thought for our first patchwork tutorial we might just kind of go small so it wasn't too much for us. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I worked very, very hard on it. There was a lot of behind the scenes sewing. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more creative content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. That's it for now. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out. Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to turn this dress, little girl's dress, into a really cute summer halter top. So stick with me and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so for this project what we're going to do is find a seam in the dress, and we're going to cut straight down that seam until we get to the embellishments right here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to turn the dress inside out. At this point, consider whether you should have saved that dress for your next child. Now, sorry, I'm too lazy to move the camera. Once you're done cutting down the whole seam, you're next going to cut off the entire part of the skirt. So you're going to cut all around the skirt until you just have the fabric. Now that you've ruined the dress, hope for a boy. Once you're done, you should have a large piece of fabric like this. I'm going to select a piece of the fabric that doesn't have a seam on it, which seems to be this part right here. So next what we're going to do is get that paper and make our pattern. We have a large piece of paper. Now, to get the measurements for your dress, you're going to go ahead and take your tape measure and stick it right here on your collarbone. Go over the breast area, go down, and then maybe to like their top rib, and then see what the measurement is. And mine happens to be 10.5. Now, we do need to allow for a seam and a drawstring. There's going to be 2 drawstrings in this top. So we're going to go ahead and add an extra 2 inches. And we can always cut it later if the width isn't right. So 10.5 to 12. I'm just going to make the marks on my piece of paper all along it, and then I'm going to connect those marks with my yardstick. Next thing that we're going to do to get our measurements, on your rib cage, take and go halfway around. So kind of measure, like, put it about halfway around your body. and then go all the way around and put it halfway around your body again. And then see what that measurement is. Okay? So for me, it was 15.5. So that means that your length would be 15.5 plus seam allowance. So we're going to go ahead and add just for this an extra inch. So we'll do 16.5 for how wide it's going to be. And you can go ahead and do it at the very edge. And you mark 16.5 for how long it's going to be. Or you actually mark whatever your measurements are. But I'm marking 16.5, so here I go.
Unless you're into side boob, you'll actually want to add an extra 2 inches to this pattern.
Okay, 16.5. I forgot what I was doing for a minute. Okay, now, just like we did before, we're going to take the yardstick and connect the dots like we're in the 3rd grade.
I guess the 1st grade is most historically accurate, but I do remember connecting some dots in the 3rd grade.
And if you did it on the edge of the paper, then you're just going to be drawing one straight line. This top is going to be gathered at the top, and then it's going to come down around here and then be tied in the back. Okay? So for your top part, you can actually take a little bit of the rectangle list. So we're going to go 1.5 inches in, and we're just going to mark it one time on each side. Now we're going to take our ruler. Oh, there goes my pencil. Okay. We're going to take our ruler, and from the line that's at the very bottom, draw a line. It's going to be diagonal. So your piece is going to end up being not really half of a stop sign, but it's going to be not square. So we'll draw a line. But that is what I've drawn out. So now I'm going to cut it out. Jeez. This is kind of a small room that I have right now, and it's like hard to navigate my body around it. I can't stay in the lines. This is the shape that we're going to be cutting out of our fabric. So let's go ahead and get rid of the paper and grab the fabric. So let's trace our pattern here. You'll want to trace it on the back side just so it's not seen. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is pin my pattern to my piece of fabric just to make it easier to cut it out, because I'm just going to cut along the lines. Excuse me, I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. Sheesh.
Oh, Janet Jackson.
Okay, there we go. I just kind of lightly pinned it, and now I'm going to trace it.
Sorry about the pencil. I have fabric chalk on order right now.
Just go ahead and grab a cup of coffee or something while you're waiting for me. Alright, so once we're done tracing the lines, we'll go ahead and take our pattern off, and we will cut our fabric. And then I would save the, whoa, my thing got caught on my table. I'm just having issues today.
As I was cutting the fabric, I pretended that I was in a castle making my gown for the upcoming ball. Now I want to make a dress, so be sure to subscribe to see what I do next.
Okay, so you should have a piece of fabric that looks very similar to this in shape. And the next thing we're going to do is hem all of the edges. So we'll take and we'll pin them down. Now, I normally would use an iron to iron these down, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to do it myself and make it as straight as I can. So you could get an iron, or you can just do it yourself. But go ahead and pin down one side at a time, and then we will sew them. Okay, so I just got done pinning the top and bottom. I'm going to wait to do the sides until I sew the top and bottom. That'll just be much easier. Now, I did do a review on this sewing machine, an unboxing, so if you want to see that, just go ahead and wait till the end of the video, and there will be a link there to see that video. This is a pretty cool machine. It does, gosh, probably 100 different types of stitches. It's really, really neat. It'll do like these little flowers, it does letters, it does numbers. It's a very cool machine. Now I'm going to sew the other side. Okay, next, put the sewing machine away for a minute. And we need to hem the sides. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of right now.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just turn the camera off while I do it because I'm sure you know what it looks like to hem the sides. Alright, so next thing you're gonna do after oh, I didn't even sew the edges yet. Was I thinking? Why am I even on here? I don't know. I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, and now that we've pinned our edges, it is time to sew those as well. Okay, now we have hemmed all of our edges. So the next thing we are going to do, whoa, my ring just cracked, is take the longer sides and we're going to put them, wrap them over themselves. So take it and then wrap it over. And you're going to wrap it over about, say a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. The reason that we're doing this is we're going to find some cordage to use as our drawstring. Now some people use just the rest of the dress and they make their cordage that way, and that probably would be prettier, and I would suggest that you do that, but I'm too lazy to do that, so I found some cordage that's kind of soft and it kind of matches, and I think that it'll just be fine. So that's what I'm going to use. You use whatever you like, but make sure that the tunnel that you're making is big enough to fit your cord, not too large. So I'm going to go ahead and pin for my cord. Pin my little vessel. Now, right here at the end, it's going to come out. So you're going to want to kind of turn it in and pin it like that. I've got it all pinned now, so I'm going to break out the sewing machine and sew along the line that I already sewed along to hem it, so that way we have a channel to put our cordage in. Oh, I got to turn my sewing machine on to use it. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now that you're done with your channels, break out that rope or twine or whatever you made for this. Now, when you cut your pieces that are going to go through the holes, the first one needs to be as big around as your neck, and then just add like a bunch. You can always cut it off. So I'm going to just go for around my neck. I'm just going to go like that. And that's probably way too much. Oh, why? Ew. Jesus, get out of the way. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, so cut that. Okay, and here we have my string. It will definitely be long enough. I should have cut that much longer. By the way, I know my shirt keeps falling down. Stuff happens. What I'm going to basically do is put the cordage through my tunnel that I made. Then I'm going to go to the back, and when you do the back, you want to take and measure all the way around yourself. So measure all the way around. So it comes to, here is all the way around, but then you need to have room for tie. So then you take a bunch more so you can tie it up. Once you get your cordage through, or whatever you're using for your drawstring, the way you put this top on is you start by scrunching the top, and then you tie it around your neck, and then once you do that, you tie the other part around your midsection, and that's how you wear it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on and show you what it looks like. Alright, and here is the shirt on. So as you can see, I just gathered it right here, I tied it around my neck, and then tied it right here, and you're good to go. I'm currently wearing a bra. You probably could get away without wearing a bra, just because it kind of poofs out and you wouldn't see anything, but that's totally, that is up to you. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this project, please leave me a comment and I will answer it. Be sure to subscribe. You will see lots of fun and creative content. I'm getting ready to do some more sewing projects. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, fantastic day. And give me a thumbs up, please. Please, please, please. That helps the video get out to other people. And I will see you in my next video. Peace out. I'm far from the camera, so bye. You're gonna think I'm crazy. Hello, and welcome to or welcome back. My name is Angie, and I like to inspire creativity in others. And today we are going to be taking a sweatshirt and turning it into a skirt. Let me show you the sweatshirt that we're going to be using. It's actually this sweatshirt right here. It's made of velvet, but it has a hood on it, but it doesn't have any pockets at the bottom. This is kind of what I'm excited about. It has this piece here at the bottom that could actually make a waistband. Let me show you what we're gonna do with this thing. You're gonna think I'm crazy. It has this zipper at the top of it. That zipper is gonna be at the bottom because we are going to take and turn it upside down, and we're going to cut some off, but we're going to cut it off at the bottom, right at the zipper. And basically the zipper will be in the back of the skirt. So let me show you the supplies that we're going to need, and if that didn't make sense, just watch the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. We're going to need some thread, we're going to need some scissors, some needles. I will be using a sewing machine to sew this project. You can hand sew it if you prefer. A measuring tape right here. I cannot find my chalk for drawing on fabric, so I had my daughter get me a piece of her sidewalk chalk. Wish me luck with that, by the way. And last but not least, coffee. You need some coffee. You might not need some coffee. Maybe you're watching this at night, but it's morning for me, so I need my coffee. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our project. Alright, and the next thing we are going to do is go ahead and grab a skirt that fits us the way that we want our skirt that we're making here to fit us. So I went ahead and grabbed this skirt right here. It does zip up, so I'll be making the waist a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to lay this down and trace it. I want to get it as close to the middle as possible. From here to here, that's about 4.5 inches. Okay, perfect. It is in the middle. So now we need to trace it. So we don't really have to worry about anything past here, but do not cut the zipper off until you unzip it. So our cut will probably be right about here. Let's get ourselves a yardstick, and we want to put it above where we want to cut. Once I'm done with stuff, I just throw it on the floor and then I pick it back up because it's easier than putting it away and getting it again. So we're going to measure from the shoulder down to the yardstick. Okay, that's perfect. Now we need to draw our line. Now, the best thing would be, since we want it to be really straight, is to use a rotary cutter. So I'm going to grab my rotary cutter and we're just going to cut it with that really quick. We will not be able to cut through the zipper, that is fine. Cut the fabric in between. So now let's go ahead and we'll pin it together and we'll give it a try on and see how it fits. I'm going to go ahead and try this on and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have tried it on. I have it on right now. I'm going to show you. Please excuse my messy background. Like I said, I throw everything on the floor when I'm done with it. And then when I'm done with the video, I finally pick it up. So here we go. Here is the skirt. But here's the skirt. So now we are going to get to sewing. Okay, we have one side sewn. Okay, now let's go ahead and sew the other side. we go. You guys are really close. Our very last step is going to be to hem the bottom. So we will go ahead and hem the bottom and try it on and see what we did. First, we're going to go ahead and pin it. So let's pin that bottom up. I know I should be using an iron for this, but I'm working currently in a small room and an iron just is kind of cumbersome for the room. So hopefully I get it straight. Here we go. And the zipper will need to be hand sewn down. And now we have some hand sewing to do with this zipper here. I'm putting fairly small stitches in because I don't want my hand sewing to show. And then if you did have to end it a little bit early, then just go ahead and hand stitch the rest of your hem down. Hi! I'm just going to go ahead and finish the hand stitching and then I'll try it on and show you guys what it looks like. So, okay, are you ready to see it? I am like so proud of it and I'm so excited. So I'm going to step back so you can see it. Whoa, I don't want to hit anything. And here it is in all of its glory. Tell me, whoa, watch out. Tell me what you think in the comments. Did I do a good job? You can definitely do this with any of your sweatshirts as well. The sweatshirts always come with the little band at the top. You can cut your sweatshirt out using one of your skirts, and you can do this too. So it was a simple little project that I wanted to show you how to do. Woo! I love it! 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 I am so excited and I hope that you're excited too. Don't forget, if you got value out of this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another creative post. A thumbs up would help my channel immensely. And if you wanted to donate a little bit, there is a super thanks button that you can hit. But no worries on that, you don't have to do that at all. We'll have a video on the screen for you to watch next, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I'll see you in that next upload. Peace out. And we are going to then cut it off at, whoops, you can't see, with the little zipper right there. First, we're going to have a little coffee break. Today, I'm going to show you how to take a piece of your child's old clothing and turn it into a wonderful fashion accessory for yourself. We're going to be working with your child's grown-out jeans. If there is some kind of decoration at the bottom of the jeans, it will definitely make your fashion accessory more blingy. So try to find some jeans that have some cool stuff at the bottom. And you know, you could go to the thrift store and find some. You're not going to believe what we're going to make, so I'm just going to make it and see if you can figure out what it is, and then I'll show you. So let's get started. I want to show you something with these jeans, and then you might get a better idea of what we're going to be making. So first of all, check this out. I can put my hand inside the pant leg, and you do have to have the right size, and pull it all the way up. See, I can take it and pull it all the way up to the top of my arm. And if it's too tight, I'll just cut off a little at the bottom to make it looser. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is fold the pants in half and make sure that they're nice and even. The next thing we're going to do is put the pants under our arm, hopefully you wore deodorant today, and see where it hits at your wrist. A little bit below that is where you're going to cut. As you can see, it hits my wrist right here, so I'm going to cut it probably right about here. You want to use some heavy-duty fabric shears for this. Using other scissors might be difficult, or it might really dull the scissors because of the denim. So just make sure you're using the proper scissors for the item that you're cutting. And it doesn't have to be denim. This could be a pair of stretch pants, which is probably what we're going to do in our next video. I'm just going to go ahead and take and cut right across where I marked. I'm going to do it with the pants folded, that way they're both the same length. Just a real quick tip, you could use a ruler or make sure that you're cutting very, very straight across. Or you could get a little crazy with it and cut a wave across. So it's up to you. Now we have our 2 pieces cut, so it's time to try them on. Also keep in mind that you might want to fray the bottom or hem it or, you know, do whatever with it. I'm going to fray the bottom of mine because I'm too lazy to hem it. I'm so bougie with my diamond pant things. Okay, alright, and here is the finished look. I've got my little diamond sleeves, and it is a little bit big on the hands, but I love the flare on it, so that's pretty cool too. I could wear these with any tank top I wanted. You might have found value out of this video, and if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss another creative video. If you think I'm a total nut for doing this, well, watch another video and you'll see that I'm not. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you have a wonderful, fantastic, beautiful day. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It would really help support the channel. If you haven't seen the video on this wig, you might want to check that out too. It's pretty cool. So I will see you next time. You have a wonderful day. Peace out.
Today we are going to do some really fun hand sewing projects. We're going to sew some really cute pin cushions, and my idea is based off of this pin cushion right here. As you can see, it is a shoe with a pin cushion middle. And I think that is absolutely adorable, so we are going to turn these 3 items into pin cushions. We're going to take this cup and saucer and make such a cute little pin cushion. We're going to attach the cup to the saucer, and then we're going to do a bunch of other things that I'm not going to tell you about right now. And then you can go ahead and use the teacup for your pins and the saucer for your safety pins. So let's go ahead and get started with this one first. The cup and saucer. Now this is actually, to me, it's going to be the funnest one. But they're all going to be absolutely amazing when we are done. And the next thing we need to do is glue this together, because we don't want these coming apart, we just want it glued together. So I'm going to take and use some E6000 to actually like glue it together, and a little bit of hot glue just to keep it together while the E6000 is drying. That's my little cheat of the day. And let's do it. Let's glue some stuff. First we are going to take our E6000 and we are going to just glump that stuff on. Clump it and get it all over the inside here. Good thing I'm using the hot glue because I am using so much of this that it's probably never going to dry. Don't do what I just did. Do something else. Okay. Now, please sit down. Okay, so let's set this aside. Now, the fabric that I got to use as the top pin cushion part is right here. And I'm just going to kind of draw out a really large circle here. Something to give me a little bit of a guide. When I hand sew, I actually bring both pieces through, so at the end I have 2 pieces of string right here. And then I tied those pieces in a knot. Okay, and then what we're going to do is go over, under, all the way around the outside until we can gather it into a circle.
They don't have to be super tiny stitches. They can be decent sized, because all we're trying to do is just pull this into a circle. So we have ourselves a little hat here that we're going to pull together to make a top. So I'm going to take and grab some stuffing. The more you get in there, the more you want to kind of pull it tight, and then look at how it looks in comparison to the cup. It's kind of big still. I want this to be pretty hard, like not hard, but I just want it to be very firmly packed in there. Pulling this string really tight, and that's another reason that I did 2 strings, is I wanted to be able to pull it nice and tight without the string breaking. It's so cute! Oh my gosh, that's so cute! Put some hot glue on our actual piece here. I have, whoa, shoot, now they're all over the place. And we're going to glue these little flowers all around the cup. And they came in different colors. Okay, so I'm just going to glue these the rest of the way around here, and I will be right back. Now that we have all of our flowers all the way around our teacup, we are going to add a little something to the base. It's going to be just this black piece of satin twisted rope. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and finish gluing this around, and I will glue some flowers on it and show you the final product. I just finished the teacup and it turned out so awesome, and I am so proud. It looks so awesome. So hang out till the end of the video and you can check that out as well. The next project that we're going to do is the container with the lid. So this is going to be very, very similar to the last video. We are going to take this black piece of fabric, cut it into a circle, in and out, needle thread, and then pull it together and glue it in here. Alright, so to be honest with you, I don't feel like looking for any kind of a white fabric pencil, so I'm just going to kind of cut this in a circle as I see fit. It does not have to be perfect, as we saw before. And that is a very sad looking circle. So we are going to start by sewing around the outside. And by the way, if you have a sewing machine, you actually could just take a long stitch and sew the long stitch all the way around the outside, and then take one of those stitch ends and pull it. Okay, I'm going to grab some stuffing, and we are going to put some stuffing in this and then shove it in there with some hot glue. Alright, so we have our container and our poof. I'm going to go ahead and throw our little poof in the container and glue it in there, and I will show you the final project when we are done. Let's move on to our next piece, which is, I saved the best for last in my opinion. It's this little whale, and we're just going to make a pincushion out of him. We have the fabric that we're going to be using right here, and this is actually a velvet. It's kind of a purpley reddish. I think you can see it on the camera. It's really pretty. I really like the color of it. So what we're going to do is turn it upside down. We're going to draw an oval on it. So also in the comments, please leave which one of these was your favorite. I'm dying to know. Alright, I'm going to finish sewing this up and putting it in here, and then I will show you the reveals of all of the projects that we have made today. Let's check out the first one we did, the teacup with the little saucer. Here it is, all finished. As you can see, I went ahead and glued the black around the outside here, and then some little flowers. And my needle and thread fits in here perfectly. My needle's going nice. Right, next project we did was the container with the lid. There we go. As you can see, we can keep pins in here perfectly and then put the lid on and store them away. I think it is pretty nifty. Here is the whale. And once again, the needles go in very nicely. The piece is stuck in nicely. Alright, so this is number 1 with the purple, number 2 is the whale, and number 3 is the little box with the lid. So place your votes in the comments right now, please. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, which you know you would. And hit that thumbs up to let me know that you liked the video. That would really help my channel out. And with that being said, my name's Angela. I enjoyed hanging out with you today, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day. And I'll see you in the next upload. And I better see you. Alright, peace out. I'd like to take this moment to bow our heads for a moment of silence. My sewing machine is dead. So, okay, now let's get to hand sewing. My name is Angie, and I like to promote creativity in others. And today I have been inspired by a purse from a list video, and we're going to go ahead and recreate that purse. Here is our inspiration picture. So what I have is this round purse here. It is completely flat on the back. Now that's not the color of purse I want to use. We are going to also be using some spray paint. We have some fake flowers of any type of your choosing. You do need a hot glue gun. You can also use E6000, which is totally permanent. Depending on the flowers you have, you might need some wire cutters or some scissors. Let's go ahead and get started with our project. So the first thing we need to do is take this purse and tape it off, which we're going to need some tape. I'm going to be using the tape to tape around the zipper. What I need to go and do first is actually spray this bag. So you might not need to do this part, but now we're gonna go ahead and put some tape over our zipper. It's always fun finding the end of the tape. What I'm trying to do is get the tape inside here just perfect in between the two pieces of fabric that it's connected to. And it doesn't have to be painter's tape, it can be any kind of tape as long as it fits your zipper. This is actually electrical tape. We're going to go ahead and spray this. I will be right back with a spray painted purse. I have painted the purse white. So let's go ahead and get started with this project. And I do want you to keep in mind, though this is our inspiration picture, it is only an inspiration. So I'm going to do it how I would do it if I was me, which I am. So, alright, so we have our bouquet of flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the flowers and leaves. There's some leaves on this as well. And I'll be right back with you. So we are first going to get started by placing leaves all over the front of the purse. After we place the leaves on the purse, that's when we're going to start placing our flowers on the purse. So let's get started with the leaves. I'm going to use these around the very outside, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of turn them in towards the zipper and glue them, but not glue them on the zipper. And I will overlap these just a little bit on top of each other so there's no gaps. So I I think you get the gist of it. I'm just going to go ahead and cover the rest of the outside, and I'll be right back with you. So I'll just show you the sides here. The next thing we are going to do is glue some leaves onto the purse to cover the whole front of the purse. Let's get started with putting the flowers on the purse, the most exciting part. So let's just kind of do a little layout here and see what we think. I'm kind of feeling like we should start by having these 3 flowers go around. So that's what we're going to do. And you want to put a pretty hefty amount of glue on your flower. I think we'll come in with some of these little pink flowers. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. We have these little purple flowers right here. Purple and bluish. I'm just making this up as I go, so hopefully everything turns out great in the end. But just trust the process because I'm very creative and everything always turns out great in the end. We want this to have a layered look, so I'm not trying to put everything separated from each other. I'm trying to get everything close to each other. We also have some yellow flowers. We have some little baby's breath. And we also have some, I believe, lilac. Go ahead and place some of these yellow flowers. Next, we are going to use this lilac and place it on the purse. Still a little bare down here, so I'm going to take some more of these yellow flowers really quick and fill that in. We'll take some more lilac and put that on. Right, and very last we have our baby's breath. Very beautiful. I love baby's breath. Now that we are done with the front of the purse, we are going to go ahead and cover the back of the purse. So we don't want our flowers to be crushed when we're gluing the back. So what you want to do is find some kind of container. I found this one. And you'll just put your piece in there and kind of make sure that there's nothing, you know, sticking out that should be tucked in, and make sure it's nice and sturdy because you need something that is going to hold the purse so you can push down on it to glue the leaves on. I've already glued one leaf on before. I'm doing the same thing around the side of this as I did around the front side. So I'm just going to take these flowers and put some glue on them. Flowers. I'm going to take these leaves and put some glue on them and glue them around the outside of the purse. Well, if you've got this far in the video, thank you so much, and a thumbs up would be so much appreciated just for my hard work here. It's totally free to give a thumbs up, so that would be really awesome. It would help my channel. And if you're enjoying stuff like this, I have a lot of other arts and crafts on my channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I'm using a thimble now to hold down the pieces that I've glued. That works pretty well. I suggest you use a thimble when you're doing this. There's all kinds of things that you can grab from the kitchen to support your purse, so I'm sure you'll find something. Now we're just going to be putting on the rest of the leaves, and you can just put the hot glue all over the leaf. This is such a fun project. I am like having so much fun doing this, and I'm so excited to see the final results. Oh my gosh, because this is going to be the most gorgeous purse in the whole entire world. Like Gucci got nothing on this. The only thing that I don't like about using hot glue is all of those strings. They're just so lovely. I got the purse at the thrift store. Flowers I got at the thrift store. So you don't have to go spend a bunch of money on brand new stuff. We have the whole bottom covered with leaves, but not all squished or anything, so that worked out really well. Now that we have our purse all the way covered front and back, it's time to work on the handle. What we're going to do is paint the handle with this beautiful rose gold color. Where I got it is from Folk Art Metallics. So it might take us a couple of layers to get this done, but that's not a problem at all. And I'm just starting with this first part right here, brushing the paint, and I'm going to put a pretty hefty amount of paint on this. And I'm not going to worry about any of this needing movement because I have adjusted the purse exactly the length that I needed. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest of this handle off camera. I think you get the gist of it. So I'll see you when I'm done painting the handle. Hello! I am done with the purse. Here it is. So as you can see, the handles are all painted. See that? And here is the back of the purse. And then here are the sides. And I went ahead and cut off the area by the zipper. And let me show you what it looks like on. I would like to thank you so much for watching this video. If you got value, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. If you'd like to leave a super thanks, I'll show you what that looks like right up here. And if you have not given this video a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. I am so thankful for all of you that have subscribed to my channel. I'm almost up to 10,000 subscribers, so if you would subscribe, that would make my day. In addition, I wanted to let you know there will be more tutorials coming out, more sewing tutorials as well. So don't worry about that. It's just taking me a little bit to get those tutorials finished. So I'll get those out for you guys. And I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next upload. Peace out. Today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet out of safety pins. So I was looking on Pinterest the other day trying to find some ideas to upcycle safety pins, and I found at least 20 to 30 ideas on how to upcycle the safety pins. So I went ahead and made a video, and I got a lot of comments on it asking me to do a tutorial. So today we are going to finally do the tutorial on making a stretchy bracelet out of safety pins. For today's project we are going to need safety pins, some beads. I chose these silver round beads, these clear beads, and these multicolored beads. You will also need some stretchy string and 2 toothpicks. My safety pins are about this big. Okay, we're going to take a safety pin. We'll put 2 of these little beads on it. I'm going to now grab one of these beads right here to go in the middle. Now I'm going to grab 2 more of these beads. And then we're just going to take and we're going to close our safety pin. Then you'll end up with this. Now, to make a bracelet, we're going to need a bunch more of these. So let's go ahead and make a few more. Hi. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more on camera, and then we're going to get started with making the actual bracelet. I do actually have some of these pre-made, so you don't have to sit there and watch me make a billion of them, because it's going to take quite a few. Alright, now that we have our ones that we made, and then I do have a bunch right here, let's go get started with making that bracelet. We are going to start using this twine. You're going to need 2 pieces of the string. You're going to need both pieces to be able to wrap around your wrist with a little bit of extra. You're just going to cut it to the length that you need to cut it for your wrist size. I'm going to cut 2. I want you to let me know how you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you don't like about it. The next thing that we're going to do is take one of our toothpicks and we're going to tie the end of each string around the toothpick. This is going to stop our beads and everything from sliding off before we tie it in the end. Wow. Now, what we're going to do is take both of our ends and we're going to grab a safety pin. And you're going to put one end through one side of your safety pin. Okay, so one end through this side over here, and one end through this side over here, and slide it all the way down. So here we have our first one on there. Now we want to go opposite. So we want to switch the safety pin and string the string this time through the opening part on this side and then the little loop part on this side. So it's going, last time we strung it this way. This time we're stringing it this way. In between each one of our safety pins, we're going to put these pretty clear beads. Now you can use any beads you want, but I'm going to put 3 beads in between each set of safety pins. Okay, once we have those 3 beads strung on, then we're going to go ahead and add our next safety pin. Now, when you push everything together, you can kind of see what it's starting to look like. Okay, now we're going to continue on doing the same thing. So 3 more beads in between. Next up, we have another safety pin. The direction is going to go this way. I don't know if you saw on my table here, but I do have some other pieces of jewelry. I have this right here, which is a bracelet. I also have this bracelet right here. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to learn how to make one of these pieces of jewelry, and the last piece I have to show you is a necklace. Let's get back to making our bracelet. So I put out a lot of list videos, and they're lists of ideas of how to upcycle old jeans or things to do with corks and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'd be interested to know if you watch my list videos or if this is your first time seeing me make a bracelet out of one of my list videos. If you haven't seen any of the list videos, they're lists of creative ideas. I will put one at the end of the video for you to check out. And while you're checking that list video out, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another creative upload. A thumbs up would really help the channel. Okay, so I think that my bracelet is big enough. Carefully remove the toothpicks from your ends, and you're just going to tie them together. So each end is going to be tied to the adjacent end. I found a good way to do it is just to pull on the toothpick and it'll actually just come out of there. So I'm going to do them one at a time. Okay, make sure that you pull your ends very, very tight, and the next thing you're going to do is cut off the extra. And now we have ourselves a lovely bracelet. Let me put it on. I wanted to thank you for watching the video, and if you're getting value, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another creative post. A super thanks would be really helpful but definitely not necessary, and a thumbs up would help the channel for free so I can continue making videos. I'll have another creative video you're going to love on the screen soon. Go ahead and watch that video and I'll see you there. I got a phone call, and you know what it was? The 80s called and they want their pillow back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take this ugly pillow,
or any ugly pillow of your choosing. Just be sure to ask Grandma's permission first,
and paint it using chalk paint and turn it into a masterpiece. So stick around, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get started. So for today's project, we're going to need a pillow from the 80s or the 90s, and really or any pillow will do, but we're going to be painting the fabric on this pillow. We are also going to need some chalk paint. It's kind of an olivey green sort of color.
I can't get it open. We'll deal with that later.
The other color that I'm going to be using is this. It's a teal sort of color. So I think the teal and the
problem child.
Are gonna go really well together as soon as I can get the lid off. I'll be right back. I gotta go run this under some hot water. I have good news. I got it open. For this project, we're also going to need a spray bottle. So any spray bottle will do. You do want to have it on mist, like that. So it just puts a mist over the fabric. We're going to be misting the fabric to allow it to absorb the paint. The last item that we're going to need is this brush. And any sort of brush will do. I grabbed a wax brush because wax brushes have very, very stiff bristles. And I wanted the bristles to be nice and stiff so I could work the paint into the fabric. I'm gonna take the spray bottle and I'm gonna spray this baby down. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not exactly sure how these little tassels around the outside are going to turn out.
Spoiler alert, they did not turn out.
I like to do experiments with you guys and just show you what happens. And then another thing that I'm kind of experimenting with is the fact that this paint is actually a lighter color than some of the fabric. So I'm quite curious to see if the fabric is going to accept the paint and I'm going to get full coverage.
Full coverage?
Not full coverage.
So I have gone ahead and sprayed the entire piece. Dip it in. Okay. And I'm just gonna kind of let that paint really get on there.
Don't eat the paint, please.
Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Hold the pillow and I'm just gonna do this in kind of a circular motion.
So I'll put the lid back on that paint so those kittens don't get any bright ideas.
Attention all kittens, spill mom's paint.
I'm just gonna go in a circular motion. Just really trying to work that paint into the fabric.
Ooh, why do I find this part so satisfying? Boop, boop, boop.
By the way, if you are getting value out of this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you will not miss a video every time I post. I upload videos on creative living. And my name is Angela Sawyer. Okay, I think I done did it. So let me show you what we have so far. So far we have this pillow here. It's got the one coat on it, so you can still see the darker areas through here. I don't know if you can see the red stripe right there, but there's some red stripes. And then that is compared to this right here. Alright, so side number 1 is almost dry. As you can see, we can still see a lot of the other color bleeding through. Now, as compared to the back, definitely there's more coverage. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do another coat on our first side. It is still slightly damp, like I said, and I think this would be a good time to do another coat to attempt to provide more coverage to the areas that are still showing through. For this, I'm actually not going to be spraying the pillow or my brush or anything, which, by the way, tip of the day, keep your brushes in a plastic bag so they stay moist for the next time you want to use them. Of course, wash them when you're done with the project. So we're just going to go ahead and dip into the paint, get some excess off, and just continue that circular motion of working the paint into the fabric. All right, and as any good fertility doctor would say, penetration successful. Hey guys, so while we're waiting for the paint to dry, I wanted to ask you to do me a quick favor. Right below this video, you're going to see two different buttons. One is a thumbs up button. Hit that baby, smash it, okay? Next one is a subscribe button. If you're getting value out of this video, please hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time I post a video. And to make sure that you're notified, go ahead and hit that notification bell. All right, so this part has dried almost. And instead of painting the other side that same color, I've decided to paint the other side turquoise. But it's really more of a turquoise color, or a teal color, I should say. So we're going to get started with that other side. So here we have after, excuse me, that wasn't COVID-19, before and after. And this side is going to need at least one more coat of paint, or we might have to do what our original fallback was, which was paint over some of the darker areas with the teal. So we shall see what happens. We have our lovely teal, just like before. This side's got some stains on it. Oh my, what did I forget? Pop quiz, what did I forget?
I got a little excited. I forgot my pink water bottle.
I'll spray that down, because when things are wet, they absorb more. It's like a dry sponge.
And now for an unneeded lesson in science.
Have you ever had like a super dry sponge? And you go to try to get it wet and the water just like runs off of it? But then if you start squeezing the sponge and getting the sponge to absorb the water, then the water starts absorbing. So same idea with painting furniture.
Or with painting upholstery.
I knew I'd lost a couple marbles. Oh well, hey, by the way, if you find my marbles, let me know.
I think they were kind of special.
Have the other side painted teal. So we have teal on one side, we have sage on the other side. Dried our teal side enough to put our second coat on it. As you can probably tell, since this is a darker color of paint, it's definitely providing better coverage than that lighter color of paint. I also encourage you, if you have experience painting upholstery and you have some tips, tricks, things that I might have done wrong, things I could have done better, please leave that in the comments to share with the rest of the YouTube community. I want to make sure that we're all doing the best job that we can do. And the more minds, the better. And hey, Miss Debbie's Design Diary herself, the one who inspired me, if you're watching this video, which I highly doubt it. My channel's not that big. But hey, if you're watching this video, girl, thank you so much for this idea. This is fantastic. And I would love for you to leave me a comment, just letting me know, like, did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Did I have the right idea? What would you have done different? And like I said, that goes for all of you. Any tips or tricks or suggestions, I am open to. Even if it's suggestions about my presentation style, I'm happy to change that up as well. I do these videos for you guys, not for me. So anything I can do to make the presentation better is beneficial to both of us. Okay, so it looks like this side is pretty well covered. I can tell by looking at it that it is going to need one more coat, but it looks pretty darn good. So let's move it up here. There's a funny little shine going on right there. But see, that's what it looks like. And then we flip it over, and that's what that side looks like. Now we're going to... Hi, it's me again. I'm too lazy to move my camera angle, so I'm going to talk to you like this. For right now, that paint needs to dry overnight before we do anything else with it, before we put any more coats on it or do some other processes to make it nice and soft. So I will be back with you
In a hot second.
to finish our project.
I ended up having to cut the fringe off, and in the process, I created a terrible transition. You're welcome. Let's get started with the fun part.
Where'd it go?
First, you will need to gently sand the coat of chalk paint that you applied last. I'm using about, probably about 300 grit to 400 grit sandpaper, just enough to knock off anything that is rough. There's no need to seal it since you are actually dyeing the fabric with the paint. Once sanded, the top will be silky smooth and it'll have kind of a leathery texture. Also, take notice that I repainted the entire pillow one more time with light teal. As you can see, I didn't get the layer of paint into the wrinkles, creating this neat little effect right here. You're welcome for the tip. The next supplies we will need are, of course, the pillow. And we will need some glue sticks along with a hot glue gun. You'll need some scissors. You'll need yarn for the tassels and colored rope or ribbon to go around the outside. As you can see, I am using gold. First thing we're going to do is glue the rope all around the perimeter of the pillow. You'll measure the perimeter with your rope or ribbon, as you can see I am doing here. Once you have the right amount, add about 2 inches to give you some wiggle room and cut it. Be sure if you have a cat to wind that ribbon up. Usually this hack works to extend your glue stick so you don't run out as fast, but it failed, as you can see. Next, we'll begin to glue the rope to the pillow. Start in the corner, apply hot glue, and press the rope into the glue. Work in small sections until you've completed this entire step. If you're getting value out of this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up. Also, I post weekly videos on creative living. So if you would like to be a part of the Creative Living gang, go ahead and subscribe and then hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss an upload. I will be uploading every single day in the month of December. To finish off this part, glue the rope all the way around until it touches the beginning. Snip the rope and carefully glue the last edge down. Once you've glued your final piece and glued it down, it should look very similar to this. I'm now going to use this Sharpie in gold to touch up all of the areas on the gold string or the gold rope that are now white. The inside is white, the outside is gold. So I'm making sure that everything is nice and gold. See? There you go. Now grab your yarn. I chose purple. I thought it would go really nice with both the gold and the teal. We're going to make some tassels for the corners. Grab yourself a piece of thin cardboard that is about twice as long as you want the tassels to be, and then fold it in half. As you can see, I put the cardboard up to the pillow to see about how long the tassel length should be, and then I fold it accordingly. So I'm just gonna cut that extra piece off. We'll place a piece of yarn in our folded cardboard and then begin to wrap your yarn around the cardboard tassel maker. Once you feel like it's thick enough, pull the yarn we placed into the middle to the open side of the folded cardboard and tie it as tight as you can. Once you have that middle string tied really tight, go ahead and slide the rest of the yarn off of your cardboard, and you should end up with a bunch of little loops and maybe a couple little long pieces. Next, we are going to take our scissors and place it in the loops and snip it. You'll be using a piece of the middle piece of yarn and make a loop so that you can make a bit of a knot. Wrap the yarn around the bottom of the tassel to secure it before we add some gold. Just kind of check out what I'm doing here on the screen. It can be a little bit tricky, but once you have it all the way done, just use a small piece of hot glue to secure that end. Your tassels should look very similar to that. Then we're going to go ahead and cut the remaining pieces off. So we're going to make that tassel even, if you will. Or if you won't. I don't know. Don't make it even. I don't care. You'll want to take and fray up the yarn a little bit by pulling the little tiny pieces apart even further. It should make it just a little bit more fluffy and a little bit more soft. And once frayed, it should look very similar to that. Now we're going to glue rope around the base of the tassel, the same rope that we used to go around the perimeter of the pillow. Apply glue all around the entire base of the tassel and wrap quickly. Be sure to cover the bottom of the tassel with rope as well. And now it's glue time. Come on, one more burn won't hurt ya. I only have about 5 or 6. My fingerprint isn't recognizable anymore, but that's not a problem at all. You'll want to figure out the positioning of the tassel and use a fair amount of hot glue to attach that tassel. Repeat these steps for all 4 tassels. And now check out all the lovely tassels we've made. So elegant. Check it out, the finished pillow in all its glory. Can you even believe what it looked like before? My name's Angela, and I post videos on creative living. My channel's called Ms. Angela Sawyer, because, you know, I'm that bougie. I mean, Angela was actually taken. If you got value out of this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Also, check out the other videos and playlists on the screen. I highly suggest the hot glue embellishments video and the home decor playlist. In addition, if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the thumbs up. And YouTube will start recommending a few videos like this one from other creators as well as myself. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.
Today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet out of safety pins. So, I was looking on Pinterest the other day trying to find some ideas to upcycle safety pins, and I found at least 20 to 30 ideas on how to upcycle the safety pins. So I went ahead and made a video, and I got a lot of comments on it asking me to do a tutorial. So today we are going to finally do the tutorial on making a stretchy bracelet out of safety pins. For today's project, we are going to need safety pins, some beads. I chose these silver round beads, these clear beads, and these multicolored beads. You will also need some stretchy string and 2 toothpicks. My safety pins are about this big. Okay, we're going to take a safety pin. We'll put 2 of these little beads on it. I'm going to now grab one of these beads right here to go in the middle. Now I'm going to grab 2 more of these beads. And then we're just going to take and we're going to close our safety pin. Then you'll end up with this. Now, to make a
bracelet, we're going to need a bunch more of these. So let's go ahead and make a few more. Hi. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more on camera, and then we're going to get started with making the actual bracelet. I do actually have some of these pre-made, so you don't have to sit there and watch me make a billion of them, because it's going to take quite a few. Alright, now that we have our ones that we made, and then I do have a bunch right here, let's go get started with making that bracelet. We are going to start using this twine. You're going to need 2 pieces of the string. You're going to need both pieces to be able to wrap around your wrist with a little bit of extra. You're just going to cut it to the length that you need to cut it for your wrist size. I'm going to cut 2. I want you to let me know how you like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you don't like about it. The next thing that we're going to do is take one of our toothpicks, and we're going to tie the end of each string around the toothpick. This is going to stop our beads and everything from sliding off before we tie it in the end. Now, what we're going to do is take both of our ends, and we're going to grab a safety pin. And you're going to put one end through one side of your safety pin. Okay, so one end through this side over here, and one end through this side over here, and slide it all the way down. So here we have our first one on there. Now we want to go opposite. So we want to switch the safety pin and string the string this time through the opening part on this side, and then the little loop part on this side. So it's going, last time we strung it this way. This time we're stringing it this way. In between each one of our safety pins, we're going to put these pretty clear beads. Now you can use any beads you want, but I'm going to put 3 beads in between each set of safety pins. Okay, once we have those 3 beads strung on, then we're going to go ahead and add our next safety pin. Now, when you push everything together, you can kind of see what it's starting to look like. Okay, now we're going to continue on doing the same thing. So 3 more beads in between. Next up, we have another safety pin. The direction is going to go this way. I don't know if you saw on my table here, but I do have some other pieces of jewelry. I have this right here, which is a bracelet. I also have this bracelet right here. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to learn how to make one of these pieces of jewelry, and the last piece I have to show you is a necklace. Let's get back to making our bracelet. So I put out a lot of list videos, and they're lists of ideas of how to upcycle old jeans or things to do with corks and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'd be interested to know if you watch my list videos, or if this is your first time seeing me make a bracelet out of one of my list videos. If you haven't seen any of the list videos, they're lists of creative ideas. I will put one at the end of the video for you to check out. And while you're checking that list video out, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another creative upload. A thumbs up would really help the channel. Okay, so I think that my bracelet is big enough. Carefully remove the toothpicks from your ends, and you're just going to tie them together. So each end is going to be tied to the adjacent end. I found a good way to do it is just to pull on the toothpick, and it'll actually just come out of there. So I'm going to do them one at a time. Okay, make sure that you pull your ends very, very tight, and the next thing you're going to do is cut off the extra. And now we have ourselves a lovely bracelet. Let me put it on.
I wanted to thank you for watching the video. And if you're getting value, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another creative post. A super thanks would be really helpful but definitely not necessary. And a thumbs up would help the channel for free so I can continue making videos. I'll have another creative video you're going to love on the screen soon. Go ahead and watch that video and I'll see you there.